Roll.
Allen, Anderson, Bates, Bell, Berryhill, Block, Canella, De Leon, Fuller, Gaines, Galgiani, Hall, Hancock, Hernandez, Hertzberg, Hill, Hueso, Huff, Jackson, Latta, Leno, Leyva, Liu, McGuire, Mendoza, Mitchell, Monning, Morrell, Wynn, Nilsson, Pan, Pavley, Roth, Stone, Vidak, Wykowski, Wolk.
The Secretary notices the absence of a quorum. Will Senators please report to the floor for the beginning of Monday's 12 noon session? Sergeants, please call offices. The roll.
Allen, Anderson, Bates, Bell, Berryhill, Block, Canella, De Leon, Fuller, Gaines, Galgiani, Hall, Hancock, Hernandez, Hertzberg, Hill, Hueso, Huff, Jackson, Latta, Leno, Leyva, Liu, McGuire, Mendoza, Mitchell, Monning, Morrell, Wynn, Nilsson, Pan, Pavley, Roth, Stone, Vidak, Wykowski, Wolk.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. A quorum is present. Would the members and our guests be on the rail and in the gallery please rise? We'll be led in prayer this afternoon by our chaplain, Sister Michelle Gorman. After which, please remain standing. We will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag in recognition of Women's History Month by Senator Bates.
Good afternoon. I have a little bell here. It came from Haiti. Can you hear it? On it are written the words, "No one listens to the cry of the poor or the sound of a wooden bell." So let us pray. Loving God, to many persons who are poor, it does seem that nobody cares. You know that we in this chamber care deeply, as do many millions more throughout our world. Grant us the courage to persevere in our efforts to alleviate poverty, even when it seems like an impossible task. Inspire many others to contribute their time, talent, and treasure, so that all will have a place at the table of plenty, which you have so graciously set before us. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Hand over hearts, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Under privileges of the floor, Senator Jackson.
Thank you, Madam President and colleagues, and thank you for noting that March begins the monthly celebration of Women's History Month, and you will find on your desk today a page-a-day Women's History Month calendar that celebrates the women who made our state great, or I should say at least some of the women who have made our state great. And I hope that you will take the opportunity to take a look at some of the entries. Some are quite whimsical. There's a woman named Maud Younger who drove with her dog around the United States talking about suffrage. Also the first, many of the women in our legislative body here today who represent the first in a variety of categories. And if you would like, these calendars are available for your constituents through the Senate reprographics, and I can tell you they are a big hit with people in your community. So please feel free to go ahead to contact reprographics to get these made up to provide and distribute to the women and to the men in your community. So with that, thank you, Madam President, and happy Women's History Month.
Thank you very much, Senator Jackson. Senator Leyva, for what purpose do you rise?
I rise to honor, it is my honor to introduce a group of students that are here today. Good morning, colleagues. I would like to welcome, I think they are right above us here, some students from Chaffey College. So glad that you are all here. And look, is it all women we have here in Women's History Month? Very good. Well, ladies, welcome. Please continue your studies, and we're very happy to have you here in the Senate with us today. Thank you. Thank you, Lorena.
Again, returning to privileges of the floor. Senator Gaines. Senator Gaines at the Pro Tem's desk. Senator Gaines.
Great. Thank you, Madam President and members. Today, it's my honor to introduce David A. Brenninger from the Placer County Water Agency. Over the course of his career, Mr. Brenninger has worked for 48 years serving the people of the state of various agencies and in city management. As the top executive for the county-wide special district, Mr. Brenninger boasts many accomplishments, including construction of the PCWA Business Center, the American River Pump, water treatment plants, and federal relicensing of the Middle Fork of the American River hydroelectric projects, just to name a few. In addition to overseeing the various accomplishments of the PCWA, Mr. Brenninger has, over the course of his career, earned many professional recognitions, including the 2011 President's Award of the National Water Resources Association and being named to the 2003 Water Statesman of the Year by the Regional Water Authority of Sacramento. I join my colleagues, Senator Nielsen, and visiting Assembly members Gaines, Bigelow, and Daly in honoring Mr. Brenninger's accomplishments and bidding him a fond farewell as he embarks on a well-earned retirement.
Senator Nielsen.
President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, Dave Brenninger is what I call a quiet legend. He's not made a lot of noise throughout his career, but he has been in a very important position and player in the water history of California, the water history that will affect the generations, our grandchildren. He's always had that visionary view of what he did in his job. He is a thorough expert in water issues, and it is of the most complicated of issues to deal with. And at all levels of interaction, the local, state, and national, Dave has been conversant and involved. He has that friendly countenance, and he has a good way of conveying his point strongly, but without being offensive to anybody. He's been a very key part of working with me over the years since I've returned to the legislature, and we've had some of the most significant and historic legislation in the history of this state, with the 2009 water plan and the 2009 water bond, and then skipping forward to the bond of last year. Also, I've worked with him on the groundwater legislation. He is a guy, the go-to person for me in terms of water issues. He's a gentleman, he's a leader, and he's got, I think, a lot of leadership yet in him. But David, we want to thank you for all that you've done for California, for the generations.
Great, thank you so much. We do have a resolution we'd like to present, and just want to thank Dave again. I had the pleasure of serving with him when I was on the Board of Supervisors in Placer County in the early 2000s. So this is just a great send-off for a man that's done a great job for Placer County and the region. Thank you.
On behalf of the entire Senate, we thank you for your service. Moving on to messages from the governor, they will be deemed read. Messages from the Assembly, they will be deemed read. Reports of committee will be deemed read and amendments adopted. Motions, resolutions, and notices. Seeing none, we'll proceed on to consideration of the daily file. Senator Block, file item 8.
Yes, on file with 8, move to 16. Oh, okay, yes, SCR 16, thank you.
I understand you're going to take up file item 8 and do your introduction together, correct?
That is correct.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 16 by Senator Block relative to Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to present SCR 16 and also to make introductions. SCR 16 will declare the week of March 2nd through March 8th, 2015 as Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Week. MS is a neurological disease of the central nervous system, and the effects of MS can be devastating. MS affects more than 400,000 Americans across the country, with 200 new cases diagnosed weekly. For more than 55 years, the National MS Society has offered services to people with the disease. They provide more professional education programs than any other MS organization. Worldwide, this society is also the largest private supporter of research and has funded innovative research and advocated for government support of important scientific inquiry. The California chapters of the society have been working together to implement educational programs to raise awareness about the effects of MS and how those with MS can manage their lives with the disease. The resolution is sponsored by the National MS Society, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Senator Nielsen.
Madam President, I rise in support of the resolution and the acknowledgement. And I will acknowledge the gentleman here that's kind of the face for us today of multiple sclerosis, Terry Farmer. I first got acquainted with Terry when I was Board of Prison Terms Chairman, and he was a district attorney, Northern California. And I worked with that man, and I watched him, how he dealt with this severe challenge in his life. He then went to the Board of Prison Terms, became Chief Legal Counsel, and then a commissioner. One of the hardest jobs in state government because of the demands of the daily work, which goes into 11 to 14 hours a day in hearings 5 days a week and traveling all over the state of California, and Terry held up to it. But he is great testimony of one who has benefited from all of the research, the new ways of looking at how we deal with this disease, and trying to have meaningful lives for those who are afflicted. Indeed, he's a good example of the folks that we're praising and standing up for here today.
Thank you. Senator Gaines.
I want to thank Senator Block for bringing this forward. And got a story with my twin daughters who are 26 years old, and they have a dear friend who's 27, and she was just recently diagnosed with MS to the point where she has not been able to go to work, and she's had partial blindness and lack of mobility on one side of her body, and it's just a tough disease, and we've got to do everything we can to help with the research to come up with a cure. So I want to congratulate Senator Block and others who are sponsoring this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Seeing no other mics raised, Senator Block, would you like to close?
I'd just like to thank my colleagues and urge your aye vote.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block.
Aye.
I. Cannella. I. De Leon. I. Fuller. I. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Hall. Hancock. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Hueso. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lada. Leno. I. Leba. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell.
Aye.
I. Monning. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nilsson. I. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Stone. Vidak. I. Wykowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Mr. Secretary, please call the absentees.
Hall. Hancock. Hueso. Lada. Stone.
(32-0). Mr. Block, the resolution is adopted.
Thank you, Madam President. And now it's my pleasure to introduce a few folks who are with us here today. We have Luann Hayden, Terry Farmer, and Amy Wall, all of whom are living with MS and are members of the MS Activist Leadership Team. I would also like to introduce Stuart Ferry, the California State Director of Public Policy for the Society. It's my honor to present them with the resolution that this body just adopted.
Congratulations. Senator Fuller, are you prepared to take up item number 9? Again, colleagues, we're under consideration of daily file, Senate third reading, file item number 9. Mr. Secretary, please read SCR 14.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 14 by Senator Fuller relative to arts education.
Madam President and members, SCR 14 establishes March 2015 as Arts Education Month. Arts Education Month acknowledges the important role that arts have played in education of our students. Arts education includes performing arts, dance, music, theater, literature, design, and various visual arts. These experiences encourage creative learning in children, adolescents, and adults, and give them a chance at learning how to do public speaking as well, which I think we all value. Throughout the last 10 years, arts education programs have enjoyed significant investments by the state of California and continue to see support by the legislature. Arts Education Month gives us the chance to highlight the important learning and growth opportunities arts education can give our students. Senator Allen and I encourage everyone to participate with their educational communities in celebrating the arts, and Senator Allen would like to also comment with this. Thank
Senator Allen.
Yes, I would just love to reiterate the message of my good colleague and encourage support for SCR 14. The only thing I would disagree with is that I'm not sure that we have adequately invested in arts education in the schools. I come to the Senate as a former member of a school board, and that was faced with some really difficult decisions. We ended up fighting to preserve the arts in our schools, but I know that so many of my colleagues on other school boards made the very difficult decision to roll back arts programming. And it's such a shame, and I hope that we take the opportunity with both this resolution and also the upcoming budget process to consider the importance of arts in schools. A couple things to consider. A child who has been involved with the arts is 4 times more likely to be recognized for academic achievement, 3 times more likely to be elected to class office within their schools, 4 times more likely to participate in a math and science fair, and 3 times more likely to win an award for school attendance. It's amazing how much there's a follow-on impact of arts education. And then we also talk about the future of the American economy and the extent to which we need creative, innovative, outside-the-box thinkers. Arts education has a role to play in that. And I just want to take this opportunity to encourage everyone here to be thinking about the importance of arts education. I thank Senator Fuller for her leadership on this issue and for bringing this resolution forward, and urge a strong and enthusiastic yes vote on SCR 14. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Nielsen.
Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I certainly urge an aye vote, and I speak as an art aficionado, as a farmer who's got enough art units for a minor, which I never got the minor, but I took the units. My wife retired recently as Chief Deputy Director and then Interim Director of the California Arts Council. But I want to put another twist on this, arts education, an area where arts has had significant impact. For many years, an arts and education program within the Department of Corrections. And last year, with the support of the members of this legislature and the Budget Committee, for the first time in many years, the Arts Council budget was flatlining for many years, and we put an increase in it. And part of what they are doing with that is indeed arts and corrections, because we have found, and I found in my capacity chair of the Board of Prison Terms, that arts education and involvement was a key rehabilitative strategy and step for inmates. And in this case, since we've got AB 109 and a lot of people transitioning into our communities, we're trying to define ways where local arts councils can be helpful for those who are still under some form of supervision in the community and can benefit from this help. So arts education goes way beyond the classroom, and that's one of the reasons we need to continue to be supportive.
Thank you. Senator Leno.
Thank you, Madam President. I also want to thank Senator Fuller for bringing this resolution forward and agree with my colleagues from both caucuses. In fact, my vice chair of the Budget Committee was very much of assistance last year when we put finally additional $5 million back into the budget for arts education. And as Senator Allen has already recounted, students who study art and music in every study do better in math and science. They have higher rates of high school graduation, lower rates of dropping out, higher self-esteem. All of that notwithstanding, California ranks 50 among 50 states in per capita spending on the arts. We have a long way to go. Whereas New York State and Minnesota are somewhere in the area of $4 to $5 per capita, with the $5 million we put into last year's budget, it got us to 12 cents per capita. So I know we'll have a good debate in that again in the Budget Committee. Governor did not put it into his budget, but he also didn't veto that line item last year. So there's reason to hope that we could see what success we can build upon last year's, and I ask for an aye vote.
Senator Jackson.
Yes, Madam President, I'd just like to add to that, more for the benefit of the governor, when we talk about our economy in the great state of California. We are the state of the entertainment world. In a recent poll that was done, the second most popular reason why people like to live in California, besides the weather and our beaches and what have you, is the arts and the culture of our state. And the only way we're going to be able to assure that we continue that, the only way we're going to be able to ensure that the great California mystique is continued, is if we invest in the arts for our young people, so that they will be the great designers of the future, the great composers, the great movie makers. The arts are clearly should be clearly a focal point for our education, and I too join and thank Senator Fuller for bringing this to our attention, and hope that as we go forward we recognize and remember the importance of the arts, both to our economy and also to our way of life. Some things you just can't put a dollar sign on, and the opportunity to engage in the creative process is one of them. So I would urge your aye vote.
Thank you. Senator Fuller, would you like to close?
I would just like to say thanks to all of you for your comments, and I urge an aye vote, and hopefully we can go forward and help our students in this area. Thank you.
Colleagues, this measure is eligible to apply the unanimous roll call of 32-0. Is there any opposition to applying the unanimous roll call? Seeing none, the measure passes 32 ayes, 0 nays. The resolution is adopted. Remaining on consideration of daily file, Senate third reading, will move to, consideration of the daily file, governor's appointments, file item number 5. Senator De Leon.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, we have before us Ms. Erin H. Donnelly, who's a member of the Off-Highway Motor Vehicle Recreation Commission. She was voted on in the Senate Rules Committee on February 18th on a bipartisan vote, 5-0. Ms. Donnelly is an associate at the California Environmental Associates, and she also serves as the foundation for the serves as the foundation director for the Bay Area Business Council. Ms. Donnelly hopes to work on improving outreach and education to off-highway motor vehicle community, as well as the environmental community, about the recreational activities that are available in our great state of California. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no questions, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Bates. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Cannella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Galgioni. Aye. Hall. Hancock. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Lada. Leno. Aye. Leyva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell.
Aye.
Aye. Monning. Aye. Morrell. Wynn. Aye. Nilsson. Aye. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Stone. Vidak. Aye. Wykowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye. Anderson, no.
Mr. Secretary, please call the absent members.
Bates. Hall. Hancock. Hueso. Jackson. Aye. Lada. Morrell. No. Stone.
The appointment is confirmed. The votes are ayes 29, noes 2. Colleagues, returning to privileges of the floor for one more presentation, Senator Mendoza at the Pro Tem's desk. Senator Mendoza.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, I'm here to present a resolution. Today is Read Across America Day and is celebrated nationwide. In 1997, the NEA, National Education Association, developed the idea of establishing a day to celebrate and promote reading. On March 2nd, 1998, the first Read Across America Day was celebrated on the birthday of our beloved children's book author, Dr. Seuss. Today, over 50 national nonprofits and associations, as well as millions of educators, administrators, and students, honor the importance of reading by annually acknowledging its positive impact on the lifelong success of students in California and across our great nation. This week, I encourage you to go out to your districts. I know many of you are getting invitations from local school districts to come read to the classes, to come read to the students and be a part of activities. I encourage you to take advantage of that. It's a good opportunity for our students to get to know you, to know what you do, and encourage them to one day be a senator like all of you here. And with me today, I have the great honor of having our local CTA board member. He's on the second term on the CTA, California Teachers Association Board of Directors. He's a 19-year veteran in the classroom, has been teaching kindergarten for many years. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you our local Elk Grove representative, Mr. Toby Boyd. Toby Boyd. Toby. Yeah. If you could please join me and help me present the resolution, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Mendoza. I'm disappointed that you aren't wearing your cat in the hat. That's what you're supposed to do on Dr. Seuss Day. Returning to motions and resolutions. This is the time, colleagues, if you have adjourn in memory motions, this will be the time to present them. Senator Pan.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, today I rise to adjourn in memory of Grace Yee. Grace was born on October 30th, 1925 in Quincy, California, and passed away this February 20th in Sacramento. She spent her life working in the California legislature and retired after 40 years. Grace will be greatly missed by her children, Valerie and Claudia, her grandchildren, and her great-grandchildren, as well as numerous nieces and nephews. Grace will be loved and missed by all who knew her. Hope we can adjourn her memory. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional adjourn in memory motions? Senator De Leon.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, I rise today to adjourn in the memory of two very special individuals, Kenneth and Juanita Clagg, parents of our dear friend, Michael Clagg. You all know Michael as the Chief Operating Officer of the elevator system that we have here on the Senate. So we see him every single day. He's most likely the first person that we see upon entering this beautiful building, and the last person that we see when we leave at night. Kenneth, Michael's father, was a devoted man and a proud military veteran. He was born in the city of Bishop and proudly served his country as a member of the U.S. Navy as well as the U.S. Air Force. Kenneth enjoyed spending time with his family and friends with whom he often shared his fond childhood memories. He liked watching the cowboy movies, the Western classics, and spending times outdoors, fishing, and taking long road trips. It was during his 2 decades in the U.S. military that he met the love of his life, and that is Michael's mother, Juanita. Juanita, being a native of Douglas, Arizona, also served her country as a proud member of the United States Army. Juanita was a caring woman who was always ready to extend a hand of friendship and an open heart. As her family grew, Juanita often cooked delicious homemade tamales that she prepared from a family recipe passed down from generation to generation from Arizona, from Douglas, Arizona. After traveling around the country with the military, Juanita and Ken returned to Ken's native California and settled over here in Fair Oaks. Kenneth worked as a Sacramento County highway maintenance worker, and Juanita worked for the state of California in various capacities. They shared an enduring and loving partnership, a partnership that lasted 59 years, almost 60 together, united in love. They were blessed by the arrival of their children, and obviously later, many, many grandchildren. They leave behind five children, his 8 grandchildren, and 4 great-great-grandchildren. And with us today are their son, daughters, as well as son-in-law, Michael Clegg with us, Susan and Jesse Barnes, Joan and Richard Brandani, and Anna Fields. So many folks don't know, and I believe Michael, was it 1 or 2 weeks? 9 days. Your dad. Michael's dad, Kenneth, passed first. And immediately thereafter, 9 days after the passing of Michael's father, Kenneth, his mother, Juanita, passed. So they passed together within a frame of 9 days. And we know how painful this is when one individual in our family passes, and let alone the traumatic impact of 2, and 2 who were really united in love with each other for 59 years. And our thoughts and prayers are with all of them and with all of the family who's here today, but especially someone who's part of our Senate family, and that is Michael, someone, a dear member of our Senate family.
Senator Huff.
Thank you, Madam President. I also rise to offer my condolences to longtime Senate employee Michael Clegg and his family following the passage of his father, Kenneth, and then 9 days later, his mother, Juanita. Certainly, words cannot begin to describe the pain and sorrow from the loss must be feeling, along with the rest of the family. Many of us have had such losses in our lives, and we can empathize, but it's never quite the same. Michael certainly inspires us every day with his positive words and comments. How's the day going? Well, it has its ups and downs. You know, he says a lot of positive things, but you know, he came from a family, a nurturing family that fostered that. And we appreciate all that you do, Michael, and our condolences with you. And we certainly want to recess today in memory of your parents.
Senator Anderson.
Also rise in memory, and my 2 colleagues certainly hit a lot of the major points, and I think that give outstanding witness to how we feel about you and your family. But I think there's something that I'm hoping that this brings some closure to you. I know it's very difficult to lose parents. I, too, am an orphan at my age. And the one thing that stood out was here they were together for 59 years, in passing so close, especially your mom on Valentine's Day. It spoke to the love and the heart that she had for her husband and her husband for her. And I hope that someday that I will have been married for 59 years to my wife and feel that same deep love. Again, our sympathies go to your family, and certainly you're in our prayers.
Thank you. Senator Nielsen.
Madam President, ladies and gentlemen, the Senate, this is a special acknowledgement of both a man and a woman, Ken and Juanita, and what great testimony to marriage that theirs endured and grew and prospered for 49 years, brought forth children, grandchildren. And the children are known in the parents. The father is known in the son, and the son is known in the father, the daughter as well in the mother. And I do not know the rest of the family, but I sure know Michael well. I have the pleasure of dealing with him every day. And isn't it a woeful day when he's not around? We can hardly get that elevator going anywhere. We have accidents and rear-end collisions and all kinds of difficulties when Michael's not here. That's whimsically said, but the spirit that Michael brings to the institution, to each of us each day as we ride up and down that elevator and how courteous he treats us, is testimony to the raising of his mother and of his father. As he is a credit to this institution, so they have been a credit to the state of California. We grieve their passing. We know they go on to a wonderful home and house of many mansions. They'll always be close to you, and as you're close to us, we also, members of the Senate, will be close to them.
Senator Wolk.
Thank you, Madam President. I too would rise in recognition of Michael and his family and of Juanita and Ken. I just wanted to add that on Friday, they were laid to rest in the National Veterans Cemetery in Dixon, both being, having served this country in the military. I also want to say on behalf of the Senate, I presented to Michael the memorial resolutions for both of his parents and your parents. So I ask that you join me in recognizing the adjournment in memory.
Thank you very much. And Michael and the entire Clegg family, you have the condolences of the entire Senate family. I'm sorry, Senator Gaines, I didn't see your mic. Apologies.
Great, thank you so much, Madam President. Just wanted to take the moment to recognize you, Michael, and your family. And there's a common theme through the family of being servants. And the way I view my staffing and my philosophy in life is, does the individual have a servant's heart? And I see that in you, and I see that in your parents. They served our nation, both of them. And I want to thank you for that. And I appreciate the service that you've provided. It's interesting the conversations that we can have, even on a short elevator trip. You get very concise and get to the point in terms of how things are going in life. And so it's an honor for me to recognize your family and the great job they did in raising you and your siblings. And our thoughts and prayers are with you. Thank you.
Thank you, and will Senator Pan and Senator DeLeon please bring the names to the desk for them to be entered into the file? If there is no other business, Senator DeLeon, the desk is clear. Senator DeLeon.
Thank you, Madam President. We will reconvene on Thursday at 9 a.m. Right now at 1 o'clock, we have a mandatory training right across the street at the Supreme Court building, and we'll look forward to all individuals coming together for that training. Thank you very much.
The Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We will reconvene Thursday at 9 a.m. Thank you.